Rick, what's going on? Good to see you, Rick. Good to see you, Vicky. Hope everyone's having an awesome day. So I actually didn't even get to send this out to our crazy email list. I'm going to do that a little later today, but we are public on YouTube, so that's good. And we have several people watching now. Good to see you guys. Hope you're ready for a fun open lesson from iMusic Academy. What's up, Dean? Good to see you, as always. Always love when you check in, Dean. I always know you're lurking in the background, but great to see you. All right, guys, so here's what we're going to do today. Today kicks off in iMusic Academy our Christmas boot camp, which we do every year. We keep adding to the list of tunes that we go over. And of course, throughout the Christmas season, I create arrangements that are jazz related. And what we're doing today is I actually want to cover a lot of different topics. And I actually, let me get out my phone. I want to make sure we hit all of those. And part of the things I want to cover are chord tones and how important chord tones are to our improv. And let me just pull this up here. We're gonna hit all 5 things today. So we're gonna talk about Santa Claus coming to town. Of course, the trio voicings that go along with that. There are, of course, solo piano versions you can do. But I think it's really important to talk about our left-hand voicings, especially since our Chord Academy, we've been going over G minor 9 to C13, and so different ways to voice trio voicing. So when you're playing in a trio, you have bass, drums, and piano, and we want our voicings to be in this area right here. So today we're going to talk about that, the importance of getting those voicings, and they're all written out in a nice little beginning to, it's more of an intermediate style trio version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And then we're going to talk about improv tips. So we're going to talk about how you can use even blues scale ideas as a part of your improv. When you go, Santa Claus is coming to town, da, 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 da. And all these things that you learn at iMusic Academy on a daily basis, those of you who are involved in all this stuff, is that you're going to be able to put this kind of improv in your Christmas tunes, and you should. There are places where if you're on a major chord and you're doing Santa Claus is Coming to Town, the melody is actually part of the major scale, da 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 da, and then going up the scale, and then da 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 da, all major scale, and then you go da 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 da. But within that, you can put the blues scale, and that's just the blues scale without any kind of alterations. So we're going to talk about that, improv tips of how you can use chord tones and things like that, and then we're also going to talk about tips for transposition. You're going to love that because it's so important. And then 2 and 4 on the metronome. It's so important. Like, backing tracks are great. We actually have one that we're going to put up that Vicky helped us do. This backing track is a very slow, has bass and drums with it, but it's a little bit lower quality. You can hear a little hissing in the background, but I think it'll do the job, and then I'll redo a little better quality backing track for everyone. But 2 and 4, if you're doing the metronome and you hear the metronome clicking off, you start counting on 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And that's a little trick that we talk about, that you have a metronome clicking and you don't know how to practice on 2 and 4. Whenever you hear that click go, you just start counting on 2. 2, 3, 4, and then you're swinging, and you go a boo da doo da 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 da, and then you're on 2 and 4. So we'll talk about that. And then the last thing, as all of this relates to 2 and 4, is chord tones are so important. If you want to improvise and you're thinking in time, you can think of, like, for instance, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, the turnaround, for instance. Turnaround is a set of changes that gets us back to the top or the end of a section. If I'm doing 1, 6, 2, 5, C to D minor to G, and if I'm thinking chord tones, if I play that, that's the 3rd of C, right? Santa Claus. Well, what is that right there? And I'm just doing a triad, right? That's the sharp 9 of an A chord. That's why that works. Santa Claus is... Now, what is that? That's the root of D. So then I go coming, which is the flat 7, and then that's the 3rd of G, and then C. So notice that all of these great melodies, everything that we learn and do has chord tones in it. If I'm playing the very first melody to Santa Claus is Coming to Town, I start on the E. That's a chord tone. That's C up to E. That's why these melodies stand the test of time and why everyone loves them. They're always downbeat. They're always chord tones. So you better watch out. That's the fifth of C. And then you go to F. That's the third of F, the F major scale. And then if I go to that B flat, I'm on the ninth of B flat. And I go again, third. And then right here, third of F. And then what is that? The fifth. Peter. Everybody, round of applause for Peter. Good to see you. Always good to see you, Peter. Love it that you can tune in. So do you guys start to hear chord tones? Somebody put chord tones in the chat because that's a really important focus for today. Is that even as I'm going through this lesson, I go, that's right, a round of applause for Peter. Peter has been a member at iMusic Academy for a long time now, and he's awesome. All right, so here we go. We have Santa Claus is Coming. We have chord tone. Yeah, so notice that your melody has da-da-da-da, all chord tones. And then on F, chord tone, F major with the third. The ninth. G minor is right on the root. And then it goes, again, chord tone on F. The fifth of B flat. And you go, Santa Claus is coming to town. Third of C. Sharp 9 of A7. You have, and then G7, that's the flat 7, and then the third, and then the root. And even when you go, he sees you when you're sleeping, watch what happens. Chord tone, that's the fifth. And there's actually a major 7 there, which is just kind of a non-chord tone, but it actually works. There's the same thing, fifth of A minor. And then it goes, dun, 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 da, 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 da. So it's all chord tones. And we're going to come back to that. But let's go ahead and dig into these left-hand voicings. I'm going to pull up the chart. Now, we're working out of the Christmas Boot Camp, which is the PDF. And for all of the iMusic Academy members, like you're a member of the entire iMusic Academy. It's an all-access thing. You get everything, of course, in the boot camp and everything. But for those of you who are not in here, I wanted you to have something. So I included in our email today this PDF that we're gonna do. And let me just pull this sheet up here. I send an individual sheet of, this is all the boot camp things that are currently in our Christmas boot camp. I'm going to scroll down here to the one we're working on today. Where are we? 1 second. Wait, did I skip it? No, there's a Christmas tree. Where's Santa Claus is Coming? There it is. Okay. All right, so let's just dig right in. And I love the fact that you guys interact with each other in the chat. And again, we are public on YouTube. So if you're new and you're not a member of anything, I'm just glad that you're here. And we hope that you would say hello in the chat. But one of the best things about this community is the community. Everybody interacts with each other, and I absolutely love it. Sometimes I'm not even in the lesson, and everyone's interacting with each other. They all know each other. Rick, Dean, Vicky, Peter, T-Man, that's my dad. And then Tom, good to see you, Tom. All right, so let's dig in. We're going to have a lot of fun, but keep the chat rolling. So one of the most important things we've been talking about lately is this idea of this area of the piano. If I have a bass player and he's doing the lines and everything, I'm just in this area. So if I'm right-hand voicing and if I'm playing bass, I want to be in this area because this is the best place to have your voicings. They sound the best. If I play a G minor, that sounds great right here. It's this kind of inversion, a G minor 9. But if I'm up here, it's a little bit thin. It's okay, but it gets in the way of my right hand. So I want to make sure all my voicings are in this area of the piano. If we're playing Santa Claus Coming to Town and the bass player is right here, and we go da 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 da, and right here, you see how all my voicings, but I want to be able to play those with my right hand and my left hand. So the very first chord for Santa Claus is 3, 6, 9. This is a great major voicing. If you guys are ever needing you see a C major 7 in your chart, and you say, all right, I need a good voicing. Here's a simple way to do it: 3, 6, 9. Notice that that is a fourth voicing, the interval of a fourth. So from a C major scale, I think C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. I think the 1, 2, 3, the third note, the sixth note, and the 9. That's 3, 6, 9. Now, everyone at iMusic Academy will tell you how important this particular interval of this pattern of fourths are so important for not only left-hand voicings, but right-hand voicings as well. If I'm playing an F blues and I have a nice F13 voicing, that voicing right there sounds really nice. It's a flat 7 of the F scale, the third, the 13, and in my right hand I have 9/5 root, which notice is a right hand. It's a fourth voicing, G up to C, up to F. That's a fourth voicing. So even by knowing these shapes of the fourths are going to really pay off in the long run. So we practice the interval of a fourth. So all these cool voicings that I do that have really nice fourth voicings, just know that that's going to pay off in the end of learning these shapes, E up to A up to D. So 3, 6, 9 voicing. Now, another important thing before we go to the second chord is this. This 3, 6, 9 voicing for C major, it has the third, it has the 6 and a 9, but notice it doesn't have the major 7 in the voicing, and it doesn't even have the 5th. Now that's a C major 9 right there. And that's a really nice voicing as well. Sometimes you want to have that sound of, I want to hear that major 7 and I want to hear that 5th. Okay? Another thing you can do is 3, 6, 3, 5, 6, 9. So now I have the third in there. So we have the 5th, and then you have the 6th. So that makes it a little more sound like C major as well. Listen to the difference. This is C major 9. This is 3, 5, 6, 9, and then this is just 3, 6, 9. A real simple open voicing that is built on fourths. Okay, now we're going to use the very simple 3, 6, 9 right now. And notice that all of these songs that we do, especially Christmas songs, you can start to use these same formulas that we're doing for other songs. Like if we're playing "Oh Christmas Tree," you can go 2, 5, same kinds of things. So learning these voicings are going to really help you out. Hugh, what's up? Good to see you. Hugh on the front end. I'm so impressed, as always. Good to see you, Hugh. So we have this idea of, so let's go ahead and put the melody with this as well. The first chord is C, and then what does it do? C7. So this C9 voicing right here, you guys know and are very familiar with this idea of how do you get a nice C7 voicing to add a little flavor to it? Well, we do this in our blues all the time. 3, flat 7, and 9. Why do I call that D a 9? Because I'm stacking notes on top of that flat 7. Anytime you have the flat 7, you can add a note on the top, and now you have a C9 voicing. Okay, now this is a good example of a bluesy type, jazzy type voicing that's very simple to play. And it's just 3, flat 7, and 9. It gives it a little flavor, a little color there, and it's in a great area of the piano. So if I'm playing the melody in the right hand, I go. Notice that all I had to do is go from 3, 6, 9 to B flat there, and it makes it a C9. And then it does the next part. For F major, we're just going to do the major 7 of F, the 3, and the 5 for right now. And we go. Now, what did I do there? I went to a B flat 9. Okay, so a B flat 9 would be the third note of the B flat scale, and the flat 7, and then that C is not the second note of B flat, it's now the 9th, because we're stacking notes on top of that flat 7. If you understand that, put "got it" in the chat. And while I'm waiting for people to put "got it" in the chat for this formula of C9 and now to B flat 9, is that anytime you spell a chord, you need to know that major scale to make it happen. So we're always creating chord formulas at iMusic Academy, and let me give you a perfect example of that. If I said, let's build a really nice We'll call it a Christmas type C major voicing when both hands. And we say 3, 6, 9, 5, major 7, 9, and 5. Now that's a beautiful voicing in itself, isn't it? If I was playing Have Yourself, and I go, right? I mean, that's a great voicing. Well, what's happening there? Well, I have the 3, 6, 9 of C major, then I have 5, 7, 9, and then my 5 on top. Now, another visual from that is 3, 6, 9, and then a G major triad on the top. That's a nice way of looking at it. But if I were to go up and do the same voicing in D flat, now I have the same thing. I've learned this shape, so this is pretty familiar to me. In my right hand, I have an A flat triad. So I have this. And now, if I know the scale of D flat, I go D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, and D flat. And you guys know I like for you to be able to spell your chords going up and backwards as well. So if I'm spelling this 3, 6, 9, 5, major 7, 9, 5. So that's from D flat. So anytime I'm spelling a chord in its most basic sense, if I said, all right, Tom, we're doing 3, 6, 9 of C major. If I said, let's transpose that, same thing. I'm going to go to D major now, and I'm going to do 3, 6, 9 of D major scale, which has 2 sharps. And that's one reason in the Christmas boot camp that I put a major scale section, because I'm just going to pull this up because I think it's important to talk about, is that if you scroll up here, you'll see somewhere in this boot camp, we have our major scales. And the reason I thought that was important is because you need to know your major scales, because it can really help you be able to transpose chords and licks and ideas in all keys. Okay, let me go back to Santa Claus is Coming. So now we have this. So far we have this. We have most basic sense. And now we have right here this idea of, we're at C major 7, we go, you better watch out, so G minor, and then it goes to C7. So let's look at, this is a very basic G minor chord. You can go flat 7 of the G major scale, the flat third, and the 5. Now, if you want to add a lot of sauce to it, then you do what we did this last week at the Chord Academy. That's G minor 9. You add that A in there, and now you have a beautiful voicing. And I know Dean likes that G minor 9 voicing. You have you better watch out. So let's go. Better watch out. Right here, F major. Better not cry. Better not pout. You could go pout. I'm telling you why. Now those voicings right there, when I'm at the third measure, I'm going to go. Now this voicing right here, a G minor 7, the neat thing about these voicings is if you do the right inversions in this area right here, to get from a G minor to a C7, so 2, 5 in the key of F, all I have to do is lower my pinky down a half step, and that gets me to that C9 voicing right there. 3, flat 7, 9. And if you understand that, put got it in the chat, because I think that's really important. You have, oh, you better watch out. Now we're at F major. Better not cry. B flat. Now we have better not pout. I'm telling you why. Isn't that nice that better watch out. F major. Telling you why. And to get from that F major to that B flat 9, see how close it is? I do a B flat 9 in first inversion. And then it does what we call the turnaround. Now this is where it gets really fun, is you do Santa Claus is coming to town, and notice that we put that same thing happens twice. It goes Santa Claus is coming to town. Well, what's happening? Let's do a breakdown of those chords. Santa Claus is coming to town. Those are turnaround chords. If I played that with the bass player, listen to what it would sound like. And for my singers out there, we actually have multi-instrumentalists at iMusic Academy, and sometimes I want you to be able to play it with a trio, like a jazz trio, but also maybe you want to sing it. Santa Claus is coming to town. and all I'm doing is 1, 6, 2, 5, which brings me to another important part. In our Christmas boot camp, you'll see that I put our course, one of my favorite courses that I've created at iMusic Academy, is the 20 tips for 5-minute practice success. So I want to show you anything that's included in the Christmas boot camp is something that I feel like will really help you from other lessons we've already done. So I put the beginning 5-finger patterns in there. So if you had the turnaround, you go. So you're playing the whole major thing. Ba-da-da-ba, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, or any kind of blues riff. Now, if you don't know what kind of blues riffs you're going to play, you of course can play the blues scale, but you can also do things like this. 15 tips. Well, before it was 20 tips, it was 15 tips for 5-minute practice success. But you have all these ideas of do da do da dum. I could even use that there. Or even this. And then I'm going to show you another really important thing. Actually, it's not on this one. I was going to show you the bass lines that go with those little patterns. Let me see where some of them are. Okay, well, anyway, it is in the 20 tips course, which is in our member folder. All right, so watch this. Let's go down to this 5-finger patterns. This is our beginning blues 5-finger pattern sheet, and this is full of those ideas of what to do with the blues scale in the first 5 notes of the blues scale, right? You have or this. So you're going along and you're playing, you better watch out. Da, 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 da. So just know that those beginning 5-finger patterns and the blues scale, occasionally you want to hit those blues scale notes. I'm going, Santa Claus is coming to town. So we want to have that major sound as we play the song, but also we want that occasionally we want those blues licks, right? And you can play the blues scale straight up as it is. All right, let's keep going down. Let me go back to where we were because we're going down this chart. I'm going to check the chat in just 1 second. We're still on the voicing part of the lesson for today, but I love the fact that this contains a turnaround in there. As you notice that the melody has Santa Claus is coming to town, and I want to talk just for a minute about how you're going to practice this part right here. So you have Santa Claus is coming to town. Watch what happens with the melody here. This is a C triad. If you see that, put got it. You see this right here. Santa Claus is coming to town. So it really doesn't matter what key I'm playing in. If I was in F, right, I can really see this from a transposition standpoint. And what I'm doing is third up to the fifth. So in the key of C, Santa Claus is coming, then down a half step, and you end on the root. Now, what a great thing to practice would be these turnaround chords. You go, Santa Claus is coming to town. And as I stated earlier, notice that every chord tone on Santa Claus is coming to town can be associated to a chord tone. If I go Santa Claus, that's the third of C. Santa Claus, that's the sharp 9 of A. And then here's the root of D minor up to the minor third, and then the third of G, and then the root. So let's talk about that. Isn't that a neat visual that you can look at it right away and go, Santa Claus is coming to town. And then I say, all right, I'm going to put my left hand voicings, which are a turnaround, right? I go 3, 6, 2, 5. Now let's talk about, we had the 3, 6, 9, which makes a very nice C major voicing. And then also we said the 6th chord is actually doing this. Let's analyze this chord for a second. From an A major scale, A major has 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So what I'm doing here is a flat 7 of the G scale, A scale, the G note, and then I go the 3rd note, and that's a flat 13 from the A scale. Flat 13 gives you that F note, and then it's going to a D minor 9, flat 3 of D, flat 7, and 9. And what's so nice about a 9, a D minor 9, is watch what happens. D minor 9 to G13. All I have to do is lower that C down to B, change my root note. And then my left hand, see how easy it is there? My index finger goes from C to G. So let me play that very slowly of the turnaround chords. C to A7 flat 13 to D minor 9 and then the G13. Now, Rick will tell you that we talk about how a minor 9 wants to go to a 13. Flat 3, flat 7, 9. Lower your index finger and now you have a G13. Yes, Rick, we love those left-hand voicings as well. Now watch what happens as I'm practicing this. There's the 1 chord, there's the 6 chord, there's a 2 chord, 5. So in the jazz world, you guys know that the most common progression is 2 to 5, and then 1. 2, 5, 1, right? And you can add the 6 if you want. 2, 5, 1. Now, another really nice thing about all this is I could be playing literally thousands of jazz songs and go and use those turnarounds, right? You go, Santa Claus is coming to town, 1, 6, 2, 5, or take the A train. 1, 6, 2, 5. Right? Or have yourself a merry little Christmas now. 1, 6, 2, 5. Or jingle bells jingle all the way, da 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 da, one horse open sleigh. Jingle. So you see how universal it is. You learn these patterns, you learn these chords, and then you literally insert these formulas into all different keys. Now, when I talk about chord formulas, and if you're watching this video, most likely you're either a friend of mine that's on our email list, you're a member of the chord, I'm talking about the student list, or not the the main email list, but I know who you are, and I know you, and I have a friendship with you, and we've worked together before. But we talk about formulas all the time. In Chord Academy, I invited our Chord Academy to be a part of this today. 3, 6, 9, 5 root. You learn these formulas. Formulas help you transpose into all keys in the same way that knowing your major scales are super important. So if I said 3, 6, 9, 5 root, that's a 2-hand voicing that we could use. So in the key of D flat, that's 3, 6, 9, 5 root. In D, it's 3, 6, 9, 5 root. And sometimes what we do at iMusic Academy is we practice the up-down approach, which I love this idea of. I say 3, 6, 9, 5 root, and I learn that. And if I say, all right, I want to push myself without getting overwhelmed, well, I'm going to learn this in D flat. I'm going to go up from a comfortable key to something that I'm not as comfortable with. Now I'm in D flat and playing 3, 6, 9, 5 root. Now I'm going to go back to a comfortable key, and then I'm going to go down a half step. That's B major, 3, 6, 9, 5 root. Okay, so that's one little fun tip of practicing those kinds of things. Okay, now as we're working on the turnaround here, we're going to keep going through this PDF because I want to get through this with you guys. Let me just check on the chat, make sure everybody good. Everybody having fun? Make sure you like this video. It helps me know that you're out there and enjoying this, even if you don't say hello in the chat. Make sure you like this video. Let me know that you're enjoying this little open stream that we're doing. Okay, so the next thing, we did talk about the blues scale. And I just want you guys to know that as you're learning this song, that occasionally you're hitting a lot of major notes, da 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 da, right out of the scale. And then goes, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Send all major scale notes. But occasionally we want to hear those bluesy notes. We just talked about the beat, da 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 da. I could go. So what I'm doing there is I just said, well, let's do a couple of the blues licks that we do. It's kind of like a beginning entrance to like playing blues and jazz together. This is out of Blues Volume 1, this idea of the triplet. You have the triad, you have minor third to major third up to the fifth. And notice that I'm playing the turnaround chords in my left hand. So I go, Santa Claus is coming to town. So even right there, I just did about 5 licks from Blues Volume 1 in just a second. I did this, which is blues number 5, I think. And I did the beginning blues sheet. And sometimes I want to go. That's in our 20 tips course. Notice it's all out of the C triad. Now, does anybody know what it's called when I do this? That idea of ba-da-da-da. Oh, Vicky, thank you so much for the gift. That's so awesome. Vicky, you're a member and you're still giving me gifts. That is such an amazing thing. And you help me all the time. Thank you for that. That's so awesome. Thank you so much for the support of the channel, as always. So we have this da-da-da-da-da-dum. Anybody know what that is called? Da-da-da-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-da-da-dum. I'll give you another 30 seconds, and then I'll tell you what it is. But I do want you to know that some chord tone things are happening. If I go da-da-da-dum, ba-da, I'm surrounding the note that I'm looking for, that target note, and notice that that's part of the chord. Ba-da-da-bum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I did ba-da. Notice what's happening. I go minor third to major third up to the fifth. And what I'm doing right there is da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That is Blues Volume 1, straight out of Blues Volume 1. Now, we talk about the importance of when you're talking about the blues, and we're in the key of C. If I do a C blues scale, those first 5 notes are gold. We know that. But we also know that you can do a nice little shortcut, maybe a ninja type move where you go down 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. And now you're at the A blues scale. Dean knows about the first 5 notes of blues scale. Notice of the importance of the A note in if we're in the key of C, we go down 3 half steps, we can use those first 4 notes of the A blues scale. We have this. That A note sounds so good, and you can start at the top and do a lick like from Blues Volume 1 where you go da 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 da. And all that's written out. You guys know that. That'll help you, but it's just 6, 5, 6 of the scale of C, flat third. And then we end that. That's a great thing over that turnaround. Or we did this. That's right out of Blues Volume 1. The thing I was hoping that somebody would say is it's in an enclosure, where you do the target note is E and you go ba da da ba, or da da da. So I go. So da 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 da. And in my mind, I'm thinking 2 and 4. Super important, everybody. That's right. That's right, Rick. Where were you on that one? I'm kidding, Rick. So ba-da-da-dum. So notice in my mind, I have an internal thing that's going on right now where I'm thinking on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Ba-do-do-do-da-do-da-dum. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. So you can play your melody all day long doing major stuff. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. All major scale. Boo-da-da-da-da-da-da. Watch this. And all I did right there is I did this. Watch the chord tones that happen if I do a simple, more of a jazzy than a bluesy thing. I did down to the third of A, up to the flat 9, and then I did something like this. The first 4 notes of the A blues scale, right? That's our ninja move. And I wanted to have that little bluesy sound. Now, I'm going to take it to the next level because you guys are so awesome and amazing. At iMusic Academy, all the time, we're doing like Ray Charles boot camps and things like that. And we've been studying, like sometimes we'll take a tune of Ray Charles and we'll learn all the, like the voicings and the licks. Take this one idea of learning how to slide down from the third note to the second note, or sliding with your second fingering, which we call a down home fingering when you go. You could even use that. You go. Right? So again, I'm doing major stuff. Right? And normally I do that a little bit slower. Yeah, I've told you guys this story that when I started playing the piano, which was a lot later than a lot of people do, but I started classical lessons, and the idea of like sliding down from the third to second with the same finger was very foreign to me. In the same way of slide like up to the fifth and sliding down from the tritone. So when I first learned it, like I would always do it like this. And then I had to learn like this idea of this Ray Charles. Like that's the in addition to him being just an incredible genius, along with all the other geniuses out there, is learning how to use your fingers in a way that really makes it work. That's the only way to do it. And so, so this idea, and I do these in our 20 tips course. Of course, I've done all kinds of trainings for our students on Ray Charles stuff, but the most basic thing I could tell you to do is use that second finger and get used to doing, just like in What I'd Say, where he does this. It's the idea of 1, 2, 2, 4, 5. And then you go 3, 3. And the way you get it is super slow. Okay, let's keep moving along. I have one more melody idea, and then we'll finish out these chords, and we'll call it a day. We're going to go the full hour today, so you can expect to go until 9. We're just going to do it. Okay, so here's what I want you to know. This idea of the major scale helping you out with the song. Remember, it's the third note of whatever key you're in. Da 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 da, and then it goes to the F chord. Starts on the A, the third of F. And then it does it again. Da 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 da. But you can also do bluesy things. Like I love the sound of like manipulating the melody just a little bit and going. sometimes I want to, if I'm doing for playing for a singers or a crowd that wants to hear the melody, I'm going to do that. But occasionally, instead of just this, I might go do da da da, ba da da da, which is a hint or a nod to a famous blue monk. Ba da 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 dum ba da 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 is a famous blue monk, Thelonious Monk song. But things like that, where you kind of quote that little bluesy idea. Ba da 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 ba da 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 da. Okay, now let's keep going. So remember that little bluesy idea. Sometimes you want to manipulate the melody. Just change it just a little bit. Better watch out. Ba-da-da-da. Right? What did I do right there? I said, here's the melody. Better watch out. Better not cry. But maybe I went kind of like a Cruella de Vil. I went ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da. And I could go. Santa Claus is coming to town, and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 10. And all I'm doing right there on purpose is blues licks from Blues Volume 1. There are, what we do in our membership, we call it blues roadmaps. So we take a course like Blues Volume 1 and we say, all right, here's the most famous lick at iMusic Academy, the one that helped us get to 1 million views with that one video. And sometimes we say, all right, that is our lick of the day. And we are like this. And we'll go around the cycle, maybe F, maybe G, maybe A. And we go through, make sure we can play that in every key. But the other thing is, how do you plug this stuff into tunes? And that's one way to do it. You going like, Santa Claus is coming. I could go this, like. And then I would go back to the melody. Well, I could also do the C6 lick, which is also a part of Blues Volume 1. You go, Santa Claus is coming to town. And then, I mean, I could go on and on. There's so many fun little licks and ideas that you can do. Okay, now, let's keep rolling here. You have the bridge. Let's deal with the bridge. When you go, he sees you when you're sleeping. All right, we have our G minor 7. He sees you when you're sleeping. Well, what's happening in my left hand is I'm doing a 2-5, which we say is the most common chord progression in jazz, and I'm doing G minor. Sees you when you're sleeping. 2-5-1 in F. G minor to C9 and then to F major 7. And notice again, I did the inversion that's going to keep my left hand voicings in a really nice thing. So the bass player's doing his thing and I'm doing these voicings. I could do that if I wanted to. If I'm doing right hand only, I could go G minor 9, or I could do G minor 9 down here. And then it does the same thing up 2-5-1 in G, and it does. And then it does G sharp diminished, which is also written in there. So you have, he sees you when you're sleeping and he knows. Let's do the bridge again. Sees you when you're sleeping, 2-5 in the key of F. That's just simple G minor 7. How do you get from a minor 7 to a C7? Pinky goes down a half step. Sees you when you're sleeping. Or I could do this. I could go G minor 9 by adding that A. And what makes this chord sound so nice is that little crunch there. Sees you when you're sleeping. 6th chord. He knows when you're awake. Now we're going to go up a whole step to A minor, which is 2-5-1 in the key of G. Knows if you've been bad, G major 7, or good, G sharp minor. And that's, G sharp diminished. And G sharp diminished, what is a diminished chord? It's just a chord built in minor thirds, which a fun little plug here is those of you who are in Chord Academy or in iMusic Academy know that we did felt like it was a really awesome diminished lesson that we did yesterday. We talked about how the diminished chord has so many cool things you can do with it. You can add extra notes like we did this. We were working on, I can't remember the tune we were working on. Maybe it was Angels, maybe it was Let It Snow. That's what it was. And I did a nice little A minor, and then I did this as a diminished. And like that voicing right there, and why does that work out of a diminished? Because I'm using notes from the diminished scale, which is a whole nother can of worms, but I did do an all keys training as a reminder to all of my Chord Academy and iMusic Academy family. Remember, we did the whole training, and then yesterday I did an all keys training on just this one voicing, G sharp diminished with the extra. It's like a major 7 and some other things. All right, back to reality. Okay, so we just talked about that. Okay, so all we have to do is finish the bridge, and then we'll wind this up in 9 minutes. So we had this. We said bridge is G minor. You can use G minor 7 to C7 to F. That's 2-5 in the key of F. I can also add that A. Awesome, Rick. Yeah, that's an amazing lesson, I promise. G minor to C, and then to F major 7. And then it does the same thing up a whole step. So now we're in G major. Knows if you've been bad, or G sharp. Now the great thing about a G sharp diminished in its most basic sense is that it's the same 4 notes. F, A flat, B, D are the same notes as A flat, B, D, F are the same notes as B, D, F, and A flat are the same 4 notes as D, F, A flat, B. And then it starts over again. So all the time you'll hear people go like that. Same 4 notes over and over. And the reason that's important is because whenever you're around, you're doing a 2-5-1 in G, and you need that G sharp minor, you could start it here, or you could start it here, or you can start it here, or you can start it there, and you can skip notes. Like I'll do all kinds of licks which are diminished in things where I'm just literally taking the diminished scale and doing all these really cool patterns, but it starts with this. And then it goes, and it goes, let's do the last part. Sees you when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake. Same thing on G. Knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. And then it goes 2-5 in C. And then it does 2-5 to get us back to the key of C, right? We go, so be good for goodness sake. Let's talk about that. So it goes 3, 6, and then 2-5. Okay? So we're like still in G, and we go 2-5, and then it does 2-5 in C to get us back to the top. Okay, so that's pretty much the whole song. Now let's turn on this. This is a bad backing track that I'm about to show you guys. Only because it's an MP3 version of it, and that's a problem. Let me duplicate something, and let me see if I can add this to our track. Yeah, that's a problem. Very thankful for all of our backing tracks, and Vicky and I work on a lot of these things together. So very thankful. Y'all give a shout out to Vicky. Let's see. Let's do this. So I'm going to bring in Santa Claus is coming. Let's see if it brought it in here. Well, I tell you what, if I play it in here, I think the problem is that it'll be a little bit off from my playing, but I'll just do it anyway. Let me know if you can hear it. But again, I'm going to be a little bit, I can't remember if it's behind or what, but at least I want you to hear how these voicings would sound. So we have this, whoa, that's loud. we're going to fix this backing track. Let me turn it down. Santa Claus is coming. So watch this. 1, 6, 2, 5. He's made. All right, here we go. Bridge. Stop that. Yeah, I know that's way too loud. All right, let me check the chat really quickly. We'll clean that track up. Awesome. All right. Does anybody, I'm going to open up, what questions do you have regarding any of this? And then while we're on, everybody who's in the chat is a member of pretty much one of either the All Access Academy, which 90% of the people who are in here are members of that. And ultimately, it boils down to less than one lesson a month. I give private lessons all the time. And if I were to ever take a private lesson from somebody, which I've done that many times in my life, I've been the same thing. I'm like $30 for 30 minutes or $60 for an hour. I've been that the whole way. And I wanted to do a membership where people can get everything. And not only do you have access to all the courses, you have access to Chord Academy, all the new courses, whatever. So nobody ever has to buy anything else. Although some people it's really kind of funny how people double dip. I have people that are a member of the Chord Academy and the iMusic Academy membership, which you don't have to do that. If you're an iMusic Academy All Access member, then all you do is you're that. So you get Chord Academy, you get all the trainings that we do that are just like this. We do 2 lives a week for the All Access group. That's on Mondays and Thursdays, and all the replays are always available. Tuesdays and Fridays are Chord Academy. And people like Hugh, Tom, Rick, Vicky, T-Man will tell you they're members of the All Access, and they always show up at both and anything else we do. All the Ray Charles boot camps, the Christmas boot camps, this PDF, the full PDF, all that, you get all that. So there's never any kind of I'm not one that says, all right, I'm doing a boot camp now and you sign up and you pay extra. No, it's not like, all I say is just invest one lesson, a little less than one lesson a month with me, and you get everything. So if anybody wants to do that or to make the transition from Chord Academy to the All Access membership, it's not the $20 a month. You just pay the $59 and it covers everything. So just know that I'm always looking for the next right person. Rick recently made the move. So did Tom, and so did Carl. And we've had people making the switch over to join us. So I think you'll really enjoy it. I love this. I love this community. You guys know that I go way too long at times because I say, all right, we're ending the lesson, but let's hang out a little longer. I love to teach, and I love our community. So here's how you're going to practice this stuff. Let's just wrap up with that. And if anybody wants to ask questions about the membership, the differences, or you want to sign up for Chord Academy or the all access. Both links are in the description, and you can do that. The main difference between the two, Chord Academy is all about chords. Like, I do really cool chords, and I show you how to do 2, 5, 1, all these things. We did our diminished training yesterday or on Tuesday, and I do PDFs always for both classes. You're always going to get PDFs that have fingerings and shows you everything, but you get context for all access that I just don't have time to do in Chord Academy. Chord Academy is like, hey, here are the chords, and I try to give you little context of how to do it. But you want to learn how to play songs and put all this stuff together. It's just like I was demonstrating today. Every lesson is going to be about how do you take all this awesome stuff that we learn and put it in real-time practice. Okay, so here's how you're going to practice. I want you guys to learn the melody. You have Santa Claus is Coming to Town is the perfect thing to do because you're learning the major scale. Ba-da-da-da, C major, C major, C major, C major still. Santa Claus is coming to town. And you're going to start visualizing things like this. You have even this, Santa Claus is coming to town. And notice that that's the C major. Whatever key you're in, your third finger will get you to the melody note. Santa Claus, triad. Santa Claus is coming, up to the fourth note, down to the 7, and then root. What a great thing to transpose in another key. Santa Claus is coming to town. And then you want to take it to the next level. Take your 3, 6, 2, 5, and start applying it to other songs that you love. Tom, Rick, all of you, Peter, Hugh, all these songs that we've been doing, Take the A Train, whatever the songs are, all the blues songs, just go 1, 6, 2, 5. Those of you who are in the academy and you guys know you have 20 tips for 5-minute success, one of the lessons is there. That's probably the book that I recommend the most for my students that say, well, you know, I don't have that much time to practice right now. Well, that's why I designed that course. And what it does is it helps you, like, this bass line is in there. So are these chords of this. And you can put it right there. Or Santa Claus is coming to town. See, so in my left hand, I'm building up some muscle memory. The other thing we talked about that's really important is, as you're going through, notice that this melody and all of the melodies that we do and we love are chord tones. And that's a really important tip, because even these improv ideas that I'm doing, when I go, if I go, that's a sharp 9 of A, flat 7 of D, right? Right? That's your sharp 11. So almost always, even in our improv, you're going to notice that your outline and chord changes, and that is really important. Okay, we just talked about filling in the blues scale. You're doing all this major stuff. Occasionally, you want to hear that blues scale. So many fun things you can do with all that. All right, let me see if there's anything else. What questions do you have as we wrap up? Anybody have any questions? Let's see. Vicky, thank you so much for the nice, generous donation. All right, I'm going to give my shout-outs in a second, but a shout-out to Peter as well. Peter's been working a lot, do some traveling, but I love it when he's able to check in, so that's awesome. Dean, good to see you on the stream today earlier. I don't know if you're still around, but always good to see Dean. And then let's just talk about where we're going next. We have other songs we're doing next week. We're gonna do. I've decided that we're still gonna do "Let It Snow" because we already started working, kind of hinting around that we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do "Angels We Have Heard on High." You got the bass line? Awesome. Oh, you got this bass line right here? Rick, is that the one? What's nice about these bass lines, everyone, is that even as we learn other songs and other keys, you say, if I was doing Angels We Have Heard on High, and you go, okay, yeah. And I go, in excelsis Dei, 1, 6, 2, 5, same bass line kind of thing, 1, 6, 2, 5, and I go, angels we have heard on high, or angels we have heard on high. We're going to do Christmas Time Is Here. So we're only doing 5, and I was going to do the really hard arrangement of What Child Is This, but I don't want to leave people behind. I want everybody to feel really good about this. Just so you know, our Christmas boot camp, I am sending this PDF out to our membership group here, but I want everybody to at least see what the kind of stuff that we're doing. So even in this Christmas boot camp that we keep adding to, this is what you can expect. Everything connects to things we've done before. This little 15 tips for 5-minute success, it teaches you this. You need to be able to do this in all keys, and I show you ways to do that. The next thing is you take a minor chord, a major chord, and you turn it into minor scale. So all of these things are improv tips. If I go 1, 6, 2, 5, you can do this. 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, minor. You see, I mean, all I'm doing is, we're on the very first example, and I go 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, just like Giant Steps has. Right, it's just 1, 2, 3, 5 of any major scale, and you can go to minor chords. So whenever it's on G minor, I go 1, 2, flat 3. I just did 2, 5, 1 in the key of F. Going down here, all kinds of little pattern tips you can do. Then you have this idea of, or you guys know that one of my favorite things to do if I'm ever not feeling bluesy or jazzy, I go to that flat 7 note. So I go, Santa Claus is coming to town. And right then, I took it to the next level. I said da 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 da, but I also did dee da 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 da. Right? And I'm going to keep going down. You have this. What's up, Jeffrey? Good to see you. Jeffrey, I love seeing you online, man. Always good to see you. I always see you on all the little concert things that we watch together. It's so good to see you in the daytime. All right, this is a little bluesy lick. Maybe I want to do that. Or a double time. All right, there's the C6 lick. Why would I put that in the blues? Why would I put this in the Christmas book? Because all of these ideas, these 5-finger patterns, give you improv ideas. Santa Claus is coming to town. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I could go that flat 7. Yeah. All right, let's keep rolling. Christmas Eve blues, I like that. Jingle bells. We did this on Monday. Jingle Bell solo piano version. And then you have, here's the one where you take your chord voicings and you learn about chord tones, and all of them are written out. And then you have trio voicings that go along with that. And then you have two hand voicings. Wow. 3, 6, 9, 5, major 7. What a great two-hand voicing. And once again, with our left-hand voicings, we want to be in this area. And with our right-hand voicings, we want all of our comping voicings, for the most part, two-hand comping voices, to be in this area right here. Listen how beautiful that is. And they're all written out here if you need a two-hand voicing. That's nice. Okay, keep going down. Then you have Jingle Bells with the trio chords. Notice that these same voicings, we did both arrangements in C. You can use the same voicings that we did today in Santa Claus is Coming to Town with Jingle Bells. Awesome. All right, then we have 5-finger patterns. Then you have your major scale sheet. And then you have Oh Christmas Tree, right? Oh Christmas Tree is an important thing to do, two-hand comping voicings. Here's improv ideas. We just said you can go. Then all kinds of little scale ideas that you can use. Oh Christmas Tree with the melody and the voicings. Very cool. Vince Guaraldi-ish. Backing tracks. There's our Santa Claus is Coming and extra things. Okay, you guys get it. All right, you have 1 minute to say goodbye to everyone if we don't have any more questions. Jeffrey says thanks. Hi, whenever you're in the chat next time. Hey, Jeffrey, I will do it for sure. Yeah, Jeffrey, always send me an alert if we ever have concerts we need to attend online. Like the quarter note Jingle Bells better. I got you. Now you like the quarter note? Yeah, isn't it? Oh, yeah. So what Rick's talking about is the Jingle Bells we did. So Blues Volume 1 through 3 has this bass line. It does. But we also do this idea of quarter note, just getting that. And guys and girls, the really cool thing about all of this is all the blues volumes that we have. You know, we have 4 blues volumes, and then blues alternate bass lines, like so many different blues things. It all works together. You start playing Christmas songs, and now you have Jingle Bells. You can put any of those licks when it's time to improv. Jingle all the way, da da da, and you can do. Then go back to melody. And all I did is I just did Blues Volume 1, number 10, something like that. Awesome. All right, guys. Yeah, Jeff. Rick, you need to get to know Jeff. He's a multi-instrumentalist, huge supporter of iMusic Academy, and a heck of a guy. When is the website relaunch? Yeah, so what Tom's talking about is we've been using Google Drive to host all of our things, and we have the back end of iMusic Academy. Let me just log in, show you guys something. The lesson is done, and we're almost done. But let me just show you what you guys have to look forward to. This will be cool for Tom to see since he's relatively new. So something I did when we first started our membership is I invested in this one time, I got a really good deal, but a lifetime thing, right? Invested several $1,000s to get access to this platform. And so I created these memberships based on different levels. So I'm going to pull up one of the membership areas. One second. See if I can log in real quick. Log in as a member. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Tom, the short answer is it'll be before the end of the year because I'll be settling down my work schedule here in a little while and I'll finish everything. But let me just show you guys, since Tom asked about it and he hasn't seen this. And if you're been around iMusic Academy for a while and you're a member and you're a member of everything, you understand how cool all of this is. Let me just shrink this down a little bit. So this is the membership area. So you get access to all of the charts and everything. Let me show you how it works. I want to make sure everybody can see that, which I think you can. Let me just. All right. I think you guys can see that. So let me just show you this really quickly. So that's the wrong thing. One second. We're almost done, I promise. All right, here we go. So you have here, everyone has their own login. If you want to go Blues Volume 1, you want to watch it, you just click that and boom, there it is. Every single lesson is ready to go. And you say, all right, I want to watch that. So if you want to watch Blues Volume 1 and you want to work on one thing, you would just go, boom, there's example 4. And then there's the training right there. And there's the sheet music right there. Boom, there's that lick right there. And you know how all of my detailed lessons are very detailed, very slow, and I try to make sure you know everything. Also, it does this. Look, Bob has done 3 out of 11 lessons. And so I go through here and I say, all right, I've worked on that. And then here's our all keys bonus training. Well, let me go back here. And maybe I don't want to do that course. Maybe I want to do a different course. I'm going to go Blues Volume 2. What if I want to do Get into Blues Shapes, Blues Bass Lines? What about Blues Shapes and All Keys? What about Chord Shortcuts? What about Volume 2, Volume 1? Easy Jazz Piano. What if I want to do the Barry Harris? What if I want to do Bob Jazz Songs? All right, so you guys get it. Anything you want to work on, you just go do it. If I want to do Blues Volume 4, there it is, every lesson, access. And I've done 6 out of 12 lessons, and there's the sheet music. So isn't that awesome? All right, I'm back to our thing. Isn't that fun to look forward to? Okay, so you got 1 minute to say goodbye, everyone. Yeah, Vicky, thank you again for the donation. Jeffrey, good to see you. Here, let me do what we always do. I'm going to do my shout-outs here. Yeah, I'm off today. I had a really good thing happen last night. We had a really cool performance of this kids group that I teach at church, and they played Joy to the World. It's a very beginning band. They did that, and then at the end of it, one of my friends gave this one awesome student a drum set. It was a really cool thing that happened last night. So very thankful for all of that. And today I have a little bit more time. That's why I went a little long today, because I'm off today and super excited about everything that we're doing. So today was an open lesson. If you want to be a part of it, I'd love to just talk to you about it, even if you have questions. Yeah. All right, so Vicky, shout out to you. Good to see you. Rick, good to see you. Dean, always good to see you. Peter, of course, Rick, T-Man, Tom, always good to see Tom, and I love all your emails, Tom, that I get. Hugh, good to see you. Way to go, lurking in the background up front today. Vicky, again, thank you for the donation. T-Man, Peter, let's see, Jeffrey, always good to see you. Rick's probably off to the gym now. T-Man, let's see, Tom, Rick. I think we're good. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you for Chord Academy tomorrow. And that's a 30-minute lesson. So I'll see you guys tomorrow ready to go. See you on the next one. you.